Hey guys, it's TSgt Wretch, and I want to go over why we're going to implement the GD300 Android from CTab into our everyday kit. I'm going to go over some of my keybinds and like the usefulness of this Android. So if I hit Control H, I can open the Android completely up, and I can see a unit here that I had placed on the map through Zeus, and I can see its name and then like its designator. I know that this is like an infantry unit, and I know with the dot that it's a smaller size. It's like a rifle section, a squad, and then here is like the same unit, same style of unit. It's got two dots. This is a whole section. This is like a platoon or like a larger element. And we have two aviation pieces. And they are also labeled, and they're kind of the same. They're just like two different brands of a helicopter, but it is a helicopter. This test marker is placed on the map itself. If I back out of this, I can open this up. This is something that's placed on the map. So anything that gets placed on the map itself will get relayed into the Android, but anything that gets placed on the Blue Force tracker through the Android will not get relayed onto the map. That is something that we'll have to double back through and double tap on. And unlike the Like the map, the Android does not have this function where I can be like, oh, you see my little yellow dot? It doesn't have that function, but there are some things that it has that I believe are better, much like it has the map tools here. If you see in the bottom left of this Android, I can put this map tool on this friendly unit, and I can see how far it is by 505 meters, and I can see the direction. It's 154 degrees or southeast. And so that tells me that I need to set my compass at 154 degrees, which you can also see in the top of this Android when I mini it. But I need to be like somewhere in here. And then that's the direction I need to walk for 505 meters to meet this enemy, to meet this friendly unit. You can also use this Android like what I have visualized here as a mini map, instead of taking this down and then using Control M, using that. I think that this is a much better option because it still gives you your grid coordinate. I'm at 029045. It gives me the time, and it gives me my bearing. It gives me all the same information that the tiny one does, but it allows me to see everything here on the Android. I can, if I use Alt page up and page down, which is my keybinds, and I will show you my keybinds, I can zoom all the way out and I can see everything that's placed. And if you notice, these are markers that I placed on the map because I can double click in and I can use any of these here. Like I can set up a CCP or whatever. I can visually mark that on the map. So not only can I see friendly units and units in my section, in my squad, and how they move on the map, I can also place things that they can see on the map, and I can be like, hey, this is a casualty collection point, this is something we're going to use. But I can also place enemy markers, and I can place them like this is a stationary enemy unit, and this is an enemy unit that is moving to the southeast. So it is visualized with the arrow that it is moving, and I can also go through and delete all of these. I can also, if I come over here, I can toggle the map and the messages, and I can find, like, there's only me, but I can write messages, right? Like, hello, and I can send it, and then I can read, and I can see the messages that were sent to me. So I can write messages to other units, which mitigates the use of the radio at times. So like if we're in an operation that requires radio silence or radio discipline, we can send messages of like not super important traffic or really important traffic to anybody that has this device. I can also toggle my map options, so I can turn my text on and off. I can choose my icon sizes, map textures, so I can take it to what it looks like on the map itself. I can center it. I can get rid of the map tools if you don't want it. I think it's an advantage because if you have like a rangefinder or a laser designator or anything that shows your bearing or an azimuth and the distance, you can, like if it's at not 14 meters or 131 meters at 186 degrees, that's an accurate mark. So if I have the direct bearing and the direct meters, I can physically mark with pristine accuracy on the map where something needs to be. And then I can also zoom in for my CCTs that call in airstrikes and coordinate ground and air assets, I can also give the grids. And so like if I have a mark here, I can, go in and be like, well, this is where it is. I know that, whatever, and then I can pull, like that's roughly like 029, 8, and 044, 5. And like that's close enough for me to be comfortable giving that grid. But that's like the massive uses of this, using it as the mini map, and then being able to pull this up, send things, place things on the map. But much like what I was saying, anything that is placed in the Blue Force tracker here is not visible on the map itself. And then we'll kind of get into some of my keybinds and what I use and how I set things up, because some of the keybinds that I use conflict with Ace Medical. So you'll have to set stuff up accordingly to what you do. You just kind of go into here, into controls, configure algodons, and then CTab, and then that's all of my controls. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one.